And to keep you interested until the end, I'm going to show you a couple of things that I have not revealed here on YouTube that I've had for a couple of months now. So if you're interested in seeing what I've picked up from Louis Vuitton and BVLGARI, please stick around. Welcome to you, my name's Dale and this is Dale's Addiction. Today I'm bringing you the final instalment of my learnings from the program that I have been doing over the past 5 to 6 weeks, 5 Stages to Style. This program is run by Marwaha, I think that's how you pronounce her surname. She is based in Melbourne. She has a great Instagram handle, and if you want to embark upon understanding how to make life easier to make you shine, I highly recommend this program. I've had a ball. She doesn't know that I'm mentioning her in any of these videos, and I want to keep it that way. As I've said previously, people who make great content deserve to be recognized, and I think if you want to do something like this, definitely check this out. It's an online program, so anybody can join. Obviously, the only thing that's going to make a difference is the stores that you talk about. What am I going to talk to you about today? I am going to talk to you about my overall learnings, my colour season, and to keep you interested until the end, I'm going to show you a couple of things that I have not revealed here on YouTube that I've had for a couple of months now. So if you're interested in seeing what I've picked up from Louis Vuitton and BVLGARI, please stick around. What did I learn? There's a lot of information out there about colour theory, and I discovered this when I went onto Pinterest to start having a little nosy around. And the terminology changes from the different practitioners, different parts of the world. So when I talk about things here, it might not be familiar to people who've done any colour theory before. I'm not going to try and clarify it. I'm literally just talking about what I've learned and how I have defined it and how I know it. Because there's so much information out there, and that's why I think going through a program with somebody who can kind of help you navigate all of the distractions and white noise and the stuff that just doesn't really make a difference is really important. Okay, so I have reluctantly accepted, and I'll tell you why, that my colour season is bright winter. What makes me a bright winter? Well, one of the first things that you will notice about me is colour. So even when I've got a bare face, you will see that I have dark hair, you'll see that I have light green eyes, and you'll see that I have quite a dark pink pigment to my lips. So when you look at me, you see high chroma, which is a lot of colour. So that's the first thing that you would see. And the second thing that you would see are my cooler features. So my hair is pretty cool and my eyes are cool. So that combination makes me a bright winter. I have really warm skin though, and I've got quite a green olive undertone in my skin. So I'm cool leaning. I'm not 100% cool. If I had really fair skin with a blue kind of pinky undertone, then I'd be 100% cool, but I'm not. So that that's kind of the thing, I suppose, in the bright winter stakes that made me question whether or not I was bright winter. The other thing that made me question whether I was a bright winter is because of the colour palette that goes with bright winter. And I quite liked colours in other seasons, and I tried a bunch of different ways to ask about, could I also be this? And pretty much I was categorically and uniformly, and on the whole, there was a large consensus from the Facebook group that I was a bright winter. So I'm accepting the fact that I'm bright winter. Oh dear. So what have I had to do to kind of accept the fact that I'm a bright winter? Now, bright winters have a couple of key I guess, diversifications in the colour palette. Firstly, the colours are primarily cool, obviously, because as I said before, it's on the cool side of the palette. The other thing is that because I have a lot of colour in my face, so lips, eyes and hair, that I should be able to wear a lot of colour in my clothes. So think quite deep hues, like really rich raspberry pinks and teals and blues in the darker side of things. And that was kind of the thing, I guess, that put me off, is that I don't tend to go for very rich hues of colour. And, you know, that will lead you to some of the learnings that I've had a little bit later on. What I do tend to do is go for more of the icy tones in my colour palette. So icy violets and icy pinks and icy baby blues. Those really cool icy tones. And I guess they're the ones that have a lot of similarity to the light summer I was talking about. So the light summer season requires that I would be light to look at first, you know, so think about someone with cooler skin, not warm skin like mine, cooler hair, so but like an icy blonde, like clean ashy blonde hair and light eyes. I'm clearly not that, right? But I do have the warmth, and that one kind of sits next to a warmer spring season. So I know I'm probably sounding double Dutch, but that was my methodology. So you can see here, I'm going to put up on the screen, I've tried to do a bit of colour analysis, and excuse how basic this looks, to show how similar some of the colours in the palettes are between the bright winter and the light summer. Let's look at where the colours actually overlap. So both palettes have the medium grey. Both palettes have icy colours in them. So icy blues, icy violets, icy pinks, icy yellow. Then both palettes have this medium blue, and that is one that kind of was the kicker for me to accept that I could be a bright winter and a light summer, because I have this blue dress that I've worn a few times. Actually, in my first YouTube video I did. But I'll put a picture of me wearing that dress here. And you can see that that colour does something for me. And that was when I was convinced, okay, I can see it now. You'll also see that both of those palettes have true red in them. They both have purple, but only the light summer has lavender, and obviously that is one that I'm quite attached to and I am not letting go of, regardless of what the rules tell me. But across both of those palettes, you can see that it goes from icy violet to lavender and purple, and I have colours in all of those ranges. So I guess the trick is to understand just how much warmth I can inject into the palette before it starts to have a detrimental impact on my colouring. Now, teals came up in both palettes, and teal is not something that I've ever really gone for. There's a fair bit of teal around in our current colour palette here in Australia, because we're, I guess, at the end of our winter season is in terms of what's in store. We're going to start to see that clear out and some more spring, summer things come in. But yeah, now would be probably a good time for me to invest in some teals if I'm going to play around with that colour. And then in the blues, I found that I have all of these in my wardrobe, right from the icy blue, medium blue, and the navy blues. And so, yeah, that was, you know, kind of confirming that a lot of the hues that I already have fit between these two palettes. And so that's where I'm going with it. I'm a bright winter, but I can move into some of the warmer tones given the warmth in my skin. This purple sweater, for example, is a warmer purple. It's more on the lavender side than the icy lavender. So I am going to change and put on my icy lavender sweater so that you can see the difference in my colouring. Okay, so this is my icy violet, I called it icy lavender. This is my icy violet cashmere knit from Country Road, and you can see that my features just pop a lot more. If I put this one on, you can see that it brings about a lot more warmth in my skin. See how my face goes naturally darker? This one kind of puts everything in a more complementary light. You can see my t-shirt sticking out there. It's a little bit cold just to have a sweater on by itself today. So there you go. There's an example. I will wear both of these and I will enjoy both of them, but now you and I both know why one is my true season and the other is my sister season. Technically not my sister season because it doesn't sit right next door, but I'm calling it my sister from another mister. I've made a few notes here because I don't want to miss anything. So I have solidified my done but undone style. Even here, like I just like to have a few kinks in my hair. I don't like things to be perfect. I like something to look just a little bit unexpected or like it doesn't belong, and you'll often see playful touches in my outfit of the day on Instagram. And usually that could be anything from a really classic look with ripped jeans or a bag with an attitude. It may be a classic look with one of my cute little Chanel brooches on the blazer, just to add a bit of a fun element. I have two key uniforms, so two key vibes that I dress for, and mine aren't necessarily based on work and weekends and nights out. Mine are based on the seasons. So for those of you who follow me, you know that I live in a subtropical climate here in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. Our cold winter's days would be a maximum of 12, and they are very rare. Typically in winter, our weather is about 22 degrees Celsius during the day, and it probably drops down to 13 or 14 degrees overnight. So it's very mild, but trust me, we still whinge about it. And that's about 3 months of the year. The rest of the year, the temperatures average around 18 overnight, between 25 and 35 during the day. Personally, I love that. Some people would die if that was their weather. I think it's a very livable and temperate climate. So I have a summer uniform and a cooler weather winter uniform. My summer uniform, when I go back over my outfit of the day, consists of A-line dresses, normally knee length, and I have some middies thrown in now as well, with a statement sleeve and a print of some description. And nearly all of the colours that I had before I did my wardrobe detox, which I'll link above, fit into my colour palette. Isn't that interesting? Why A-line dresses? Because I'm an hourglass. So the measurements between my shoulders and my hips are about the same, and there's an 8 to 10 centimetre at least difference between those measurements and my waist. My waist sits slightly higher and my legs are longer than my torso. So it makes sense that that shape of dress is really flattering on me. Now, that didn't mean anything to me. It wasn't like, aha, until I looked back through some of my Instagram photos and I found this picture of me wearing a white kind of broidery anglaise dress when I was in Early Beach on our holiday in February, and it had an empire line where it stopped just under the boobs. And I always wondered why I felt like a bit of a frump in that dress, and now I know why. Because it didn't give me any shape. It created this big bubble from where the seam at the just under the boobs finished right down to when the next seam started, which was below the waist. It was like a dropped waist, and I'm like, now I know why that doesn't work for me. I have a similar white broidery anglaise dress, and I'll put these two side by side together so you can see where we have a V-neck, we have a statement sleeve, we have a cinched in waist and a shorter length, and that one looks much more flattering on me. I also have a longer white dress style, and I'll put that one in as well. Again, this one works really well on me because it cinches me in at the waist. Wham! What do you know? Some styles just work better on me. Because I don't get to layer many pieces in the summertime, I can get quite frustrated and buy lots of dresses because it feels like I'm wearing the same thing over and over again. So one thing that I've learned from the program is to leverage the use of my fabulous shoe collection, my bags, hairstyles especially, which I'm doing a lot of research on at the moment. Earrings and accessories, and obviously my fabulous handbag collection to make the looks look different. And now I can take most of my dresses from a casual day style with a flat sandal and a bag through to an evening style with a strappy sandal and some different accessories and a different hair and makeup look. So that's one uniform that I should be able to wear with sneakers, sandals and heels. Also into the cooler months with some layering pieces like blazers or sweaters over the top, which you would have seen recently, and an ankle boot. My second uniform is my cooler months uniform, and that tends to be jeans, skinny, or I'm getting into straight legs, but I liked both styles at a cropped length, with a nice top or an oversized knit and a blazer or a big coat if it's an oversized knit. I really love playing around with putting together like 3-piece outfits in the cooler months, because summertime we really don't get a chance to do that. Yeah, most of my creative dressing comes in the cooler months because I can use more pieces. One thing I don't do in the cooler months so much, though, is I don't tend to fall into dowdy, dark winter dressing. I will keep it light. So even though it's cold, I'll tend to go with icy pinks, icy violets, icy blues. My white woolen coat was a really great find for me. Yeah, I like to keep things light in winter. I will tend not to be an all black dresser in winter. So here are some of my aha moments. I'm cool toned, or I'm cool leaning, but I have a warm skin tone. And so what that means is, even though my eyes and hair are my skin is warm. And now I understand why colours that I was naturally drawn to, like corals, were just too warm and did not work for me. And also the rust coloured browns, I can wear like an icy brown. So my new Fendi blazer, which is at the tailor at the moment, having some alterations done, that works really well. So that is one bonus that I picked up on. All this time I was trying to fight this warmer tone in me, and now I understand why. I'm an hourglass shape, as I mentioned before, not a rectangle. The good news is that both of them have the same focus, which is either accentuating the waist or creating the illusion of a waist. And so I will always be looking to create that hourglass shape in the clothes that I purchase. Or my next aha moment is, if I'm not going to accentuate my waist, to make sure that I comply with the rule of thirds, where either my top half is the longest 2/3 and then the bottom half is the shortest, that I'm monotone, so all in one colour, which will create more symmetry and length through my body, or that my top half is the shorter half, so that is the top third, and then 2/3 legs. And so, yeah, if I'm not going to accentuate my waist, then I'll be looking to apply the rule of thirds. I have rounded facial features. I've talked about this in a video before, but my nose is quite round shaped, my lips are quite full, naturally, and my eyes are quite large. My eyebrows are fairly curved. And so this tends to mean that I look more flattering with a curl or some movement in my hair rather than necessarily straight hair. I'll wear both, but there's a reason why I feel more pretty with a bit of a kink in my hair than when my hair is dead straight. It also means that I am more drawn to florals and patterns that have softer edges rather than stripes and very angular pieces, because there's not harmony between those features and my face. Who would have known? In terms of my scale, I think I'm a pretty average sized person. I've got quite a full chest and a considerable abute, and I want to flatter my chest and leverage, this space here, the V-neck, and make the girls look good without showing them to the world. I also want to conceal and give shape to my booty. My stepdaughter Em tells me all the time that I should be so lucky as to have a nice full butt, because a lot of girls would kill for that. And I'm like, this too will pass, Em. This too will pass. I mean the trend, not my butt. It's going to be here forever. The other thing with features is, and scale, is that because I am of a more, heavier shape, I suppose, I can actually wear heavier things and they're not going to look weird on me. So I have actually been thinking about Chelsea boots for quite a while. I tried some on in Gucci a couple of months ago and I loved them, but I wasn't convinced that making such an investment in such a heavy black boot in my climate was a great idea. Now I've found a pair from Roger Vivier which are like $1,000 more than those, and they've got a big crystal buckle on them. I'll put a picture in here, and I'm like, how can I justify them? So I'm putting together my wish list, and I'm sure I'll find a way to justify that investment piece in my wardrobe. I see me styling those with long and shorter dresses, with my straight leg jeans. I'm not sure about the skinny jeans, we'll see, but I do think they'll be a versatile piece in my wardrobe. Another moment, if you feel great in it, keep it and disregard the rules. So for me, the big one that applies to that is the skinny jeans. I think skinny jeans are just going to be part of the typical jean repertoire. I think it's very easy for people to say straight legs are always in, but I don't think they are. And even if they are, people are making straight leg jeans look different by cuffing them or by cutting them off, by cropping them, and playing around with the lengths. So in my view, I think skinny jeans are the new classics, and they are so flattering for so many body shapes. I think it would be an absolute shame for them to leave the constant staple of jeans that we have to choose from. Talking with others about how colours look on you is, and people who you trust because you're all in it to learn, is so valuable. It's not funny. And I've learned so much from the way other people see me when I've asked for feedback, because you have your own biases about yourself, the colours that you like and you're drawn to, why you choose those colours. Maybe someone said one day 10 years ago that it looked great on you and you've always kind of stuck with that, but you've changed now, or your hair colour's changed or whatever. It's very good to have some trusted advisors, either in your friendship group or people who are on the same journey, who can offer you some feedback and say, that looks good because it brings out the colour of your eyes, or that's not as good as this option because you can see the difference in your skin tone between the two pieces. That's helpful feedback, so I'd encourage you to go and find feedback wherever you can. Oddly, I have not felt inclined to shop at all. Yesterday I was in the city, I went to the tailor, I took a couple of pieces in, my Fendi blazer being one of them, and I also took my lilac linen blazer in. I'm getting a vent cut into the back because it doesn't have any vents in the back, it's just a solid piece of there's some darts in it, some seams in it, but there's no vent. And because I have that booty, I need a vent, otherwise the jacket looks very boxy and weird on me. So they're cutting that in. I purchased an Ami Paris Brereton tee, long sleeve tee. It fits me everywhere except for the sleeves and the length, so I'm getting it tailored. I've not found anything that's in a nice clean colour palette like that one, and I thought, you know what, I've invested in this, I'm going to make it work because it's just one of those basics that I need in my wardrobe. So I think I'm going to find it a lot easier to find things or be drawn to things that I like, because I'll firstly look at the cool colours, then I'll look at the shapes, and then I'll figure out what I need in my wardrobe if I'm not duplicating anything, and then maybe I'll buy. If only I applied the same logic to handbags, how much money could I save? And I guess, knowing me, I will always look at the higher end pieces, especially now that I have a lot of these secrets unlocked about my personal style, my shape and my colouring, because that's just what I love to do. And if I can invest confidently, that is just a fabulous takeaway from this program. So to sum it up, you don't know what you don't know, and when you do know what you don't know, you start to go down rabbit holes. My next areas of learning will be more in the makeup space, playing around in those deeper hues of colours and not being afraid to experiment in those bold colours. because I do that with my bags, so why wouldn't I do it with my clothes? So I will link the program that I've been doing in the description box below. I know a few of you have signed up on the wait list for the next session. So please let me know if you are one of those people that has waitlisted for the program. I would love to keep the conversation going with you. So you've made it this far. I promised you that I would reveal a couple of pieces that I haven't shown you here on YouTube yet. So the first one I'm going to share with you is from BVLGARI. If you've watched any of my Fendi made to order videos, you'll know that one of the materials that I was absolutely in love with, but I didn't go ahead with, was Galusha, which is stingray. Well, BVLGARI actually make Galusha bracelets, and I had one, and I didn't even realize it. So, running out of Milan with my VAT refund in hand, Milan airport, I went about quickly trying to spend that money before it burnt a hole in my pocket, and I picked up this beautiful bangle from BVLGARI in the hot pink Galusha leather and gold hardware. Now, what I really wanted was a serpenti, but they didn't have one. And so a couple of months ago, I went into the city with Connor to purchase his Louis Vuitton belt. He's made a video on that. And we dropped into BVLGARI, and they had this gorgeous emerald green Galusha bangle with the serpenti heads. Now, I think I have got there's only two sizes, small and medium, I think. I've got whatever the larger size is. And it is just a stunning colour, and this was the actual colour of the baguette trunk that I was going to have made at Fendi. So I love the edginess of this piece. They're quite affordable for fashion jewellery. Together they look absolutely stunning. I did an unboxing on Instagram for this piece, actually. So if you want to see the unboxing, go check out my Instagram page. I did a little reel on it, I think. I'll put them on both together. And yeah, you can see those colours just work so well together. And yeah, ironically, they're the same colours that will be on my Fendi made to order. So the next piece that, actually I will provide a link to these bangles if they're still available at BVLGARI. The next piece comes from Louis Vuitton, and our mutual friend Connor is to blame for this one. To blame or to be thanked for this one, whichever way you want to put it. A couple of months ago, he told me that he had a piece come in for consignment that he knew that I would love, and he offered it to me before he listed it. And how could I resist? I mentioned this one a long time ago, and I had no hope in hell of getting it. My SA tried to get it for me at Louis Vuitton but couldn't. It is the fabulous pocket organizer from Virgil's collection. It's just the most glorious pink and purple. The depth of the colour on this is just absolutely divine. Inside this gorgeous electric blue, and I haven't used it, I haven't gotten it out. I will use this. I just look at that. It just looks magic. I mean, on camera it looks magic, but in person it's exquisite. I think it's Tyrolean leather. Yeah, it's glorious. So thank you so much, Connor, for offering this one to me. I could not turn it down, and it's been here in my drawer for a couple of months, waiting for the right time to share with you guys. So it's actually nice to go through all these things while I'm on Ban Island and really enjoy them. And it's also really good to have this knowledge to apply to any purchases moving forward. So that's an epic video. Thank you so much if you've lasted this long. If you have, can you leave me a rainbow emoji in the comments below? If you've got any questions for me, about anything you've heard in this video or anything you think I might be able to help you with, please let me know. It is an extraordinarily exciting yet confusing area to go into. So I thank the mentors in the program so much for helping provide clarity to 250 odd people who are just like, help! I don't understand. If you've liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. I put out videos on Wednesdays and Sundays, and sometimes some extra ones when I have time. So I will see you in my next one. Bye.